Hello, welcome to Chris Betts Versus. I am Chris Betts. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm coming live from my living room in Manor House because the world is a nightmare. If you've streamed this before, thanks for coming back. You know how this works. Feel free to get involved in the comment section. We'll get your arguments in there. If you haven't watched before, this is an online version of a show that I've been doing for years that was called, excuse me, burp in the first 30 seconds. Now my mom can't watch. It was called Chris Betts versus the Audience. And what I do is I will argue the opposite of anything anyone says. The last few shows, I have defended QAnon, legalized heroin. I have, what else? Apartheid. I defended pretty successfully, which surprised all of us. But it's basically, the thing is I will say anything just to win. At this point in the show, I always have to add a disclaimer, partly because people forget that it's a game, and partly because I'm doing this on the internet now. So any clip from this could ruin my career. So I just need to say that just because I say a thing doesn't mean I mean that thing. I'm just here to win. Like I could say that I think Donald Trump deserves to be the president now because the only thing more American than democracy is lawsuits. So he's fucking earned it. Good for him. Take it. That is, let's see. The game is very simple. I bring in two comedians basically on the online version, and I argue with one of them, and one of them judges. Today we have our first ever non-comedian as part of the show. So I'm excited to have them both. This is also the first online show where neither of the acts has done it before in the live one. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I can't wait to have the guest on today. My opponent is one of my favorite comics. He's a good friend. He is the reason that I moved to the UK. It was his advice that I came out here. And I remember I watched him, about 10 years ago at South by Southwest. At the end of, I'd watched 11 hours of stand-up in Wanda's at the music festival in Austin, Texas. And at the end of an 11-hour shift, because I was brand new, I had no business doing South by. So I just wanted to watch all my heroes, and Glenn came on. It's Glenn Wool, by the way, and I'd never seen him before, and he made me laugh harder than anyone the whole day. So I'm really excited to have him here. He's an amazing comic. So please, in your living rooms where we can't see or hear you, please welcome to the screen the amazing Glenn Wool.
Hey,
hey, buddy, how's it going?
Hey, yes, I'm good.
Good. Do you remember doing South by Southwest?
I've done it a few times, actually.
Fair enough. Do you remember the one where Donald Glover was supposed to be there, but he got too drunk, and so Daryl Lennox had to do 2 sets?
Yes, I do.
That was the one.
I got to hear Donald Glover's phone call, like to the venue, and he didn't have to tell anybody why he wasn't going to be. Like, he was loud enough that I could hear it, like it was going over a phone, and I was just beside it, and it's just like, here's the thing. All right, Donald.
Good luck out there, man. I'm sure your career will never recover from this.
Yeah.
No, I remember I spent, I went out there with a record label. So I did a music only show, and I just went to go and watch the stand-ups, and I for real watched 11 hours of stand-up that day. Cause I was that like 8 months in, hyper focused, can't think of anything but stand-up mode. And you came on right at the end, and you fuck crushed. You made me laugh so hard.
Cool.
So I've been a fan ever since.
Thank you. This is a little lesson to all the kids out there, because I listened to that whole story going, oh, I wonder if I did good in that show.
That never goes away. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, you'd like to think we develop confidence one day, but nope, doesn't matter.
Nah, no.
All right, so I'm going to be arguing against Glenn. Now, the way that this works is because it's an argument-based show, and no one can admit that they've lost an argument. I bring in a judge to decide who argued best. Today's judge is the first non-comedian that has ever done Chris Betts Versus. He's an amazing comedy director and a very good friend of mine, and just a fucking funny guy. So please welcome to the screen, Mr. Paul Byrne. Yay! Hey, Paul, how you holding up? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I'm cold in Miserable Glasgow.
Yeah, why are you in Glasgow?
Well, the global pandemic got my girlfriend trapped in another country, her birthplace of Australia.
Yeah.
And we couldn't afford our flat in London anymore.
Fuck.
We needed to get somewhere to live, and I couldn't sustain it on my own because of the industry the way that it is.
Yeah.
So I am currently living at twice nominated for Edinburgh Award brilliant stand-up comedian Larry Dean's flat
Hey,
in
Larry.
Glasgow.
Ah, nice one.
Which
Is Larry there, or is he with a boyfriend?
He is not. He's not here at the moment. He's round at his fellow's house.
Nice.
I mean, you discover some fun things about your friends living in close quarters with them like this.
I bet. I've already lost 2 friends this year. How are you guys holding
I mean,
up?
no, but we've been great. I mean, he's barely been here because he's been, out bumming and whatnot.
Fair enough. Keep him busy.
Yeah, exactly. He's got bubbles of his own.
He's got to get those checked out then.
But interesting discovery was that he, even though living in Glasgow, where the sun never shines, he wears Factor 50 sunscreen top to toe every single day.
Why?
That's
What?
That's how he keeps himself so young and beautiful.
Are
It's part of
you
his skin
sure?
regime.
Are you sure that he's not, in fact, just a vampire? Because that's a lot. You might just think, oh, he's gay. No, he's actually a vampire, and you've just assumed.
Yeah, I mean it's quite possible, but it is shocking when I first opened his bathroom cabinet and it was like something out of As Good as It Gets or Monk or something. He just had like rows and rows of the same sunscreen.
Is he worried?
Through.
Is he worried that his
Bucket loads.
accent isn't enough for people to believe that he's Scottish? Like he's also
Yeah.
got to be the palest fucking person alive.
Yeah. I mean, he does look like a ghost, a young-looking ghost,
Very
but
young
a
ghost.
ghost nonetheless. A ghost who's constantly eating vitamin D tablets.
Jesus Christ. And drinking iron brew. Like, gee, come on, man. He's got a complicated relationship with life, does Larry Dean.
He's all sorts of cliche.
Cool. All right. So we're going to get the game going. So like I said, so Paul, you're going to be judging. So you decide at the end of the argument, not who was right, but who argued best. And Glenn, you and I are going to go toe to toe. So we're going to start the first round. All right. Just a couple Canadian kids from White Rock. We went to the same high school.
Points will be docked for any impenetrably Canadian bullshit.
Nonsense. It's online. This is an international show now, Paul.
Anything beyond Tim Horton references is getting marked down.
What about Bobby Orr? Can we go with Bobby Orr?
Nope, never fucking heard of him.
Jesus Christ. Heathen.
And I'd imagine my throat yodeling will fall on deaf ears.
That's what we call blowjobs.
Yeah, if you do it right. If you're good at it up in the Northwest Territories, it's basically free blowjobs.
All right, so we're gonna go with the first round where I let the guest pick a topic. So, Glenn, what's been on your mind? What do you want me to defend?
I'll tell you what you can defend, Chris Betts. Now, it's a two-pronged attack, but first of all, technically, One Night in Bangkok is a rap song. And if you accept that, it's the best rap song ever.
Oh my God. Okay. So I'm going to need you to sing some of One Night in Bangkok just to prove your point. Because I can't get the rhythm for it. It's been a while since I've heard it. So can you just remind me of the cadence?
From Chess.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the musical Chess.
Yeah.
By Murray Head.
Murray Head, also written by the lads from ABBA.
Yeah.
Okay. I do not know this song.
What?
Yeah, apparently.
That does kind of put you at a disadvantage.
I mean, last week I had to defend netball, and I didn't know what that was either, and I almost won. So I like my odds. Let's see. How does
Bangkok, Oriental City. That's all I know. But he talks in it. That's what you have to know. I get my kicks above the waistline sunshine. I am is going to be the witness to the ultimate test of cerebral fitness.
Okay, that's clearly not rap. What that is like, remember when Blondie had a fucking rap song? And she tried, it was the same thing. That's not rap. That's just.
So remember the other rap song. It's like that rap song. Okay.
it's pre Talking Heads. It's just Brian Eno done worse. Or Byrne. Sorry, David Byrne done worse. What year would that have come out?
1984.
84. Okay, that was the year that I was born, so that's why I don't remember it. And I feel like we've gotten impenetrably old as opposed to impenetrably Canadian, which is great.
I remember it like I was 7.
Okay. All right. So we just going to sit around here and act like none of us stayed till the end of The Hangover Part 3, where Mike Tyson bursts onto the scene.
Yeah.
Rapping. What song?
I'm going to go with One Night in Bangkok.
Yeah, well, I would have brought it up had it not been the case.
Fair enough. That would have been really surprising. It was three MCs and one DJ by the Beastie Boys. Nobody saw it coming.
That didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I think that no one is less hip hop than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is
now he didn't write the song. I mean,
but the fact that he's singing it, Mike Tyson is a black heavy metal fan.
Okay, first of all, he did not sing it. He rapped it. You're trying to change. You try to change the little sentence to make yourself right. No one said he sang a song, Chris. He was described as rapping it, and then you snuck in there.
I think
the only way you can move in a sentence like a pterodactyl.
Oh, nice. I would say known for their sneakiness. Yeah.
You don't know. You weren't there. You were born in 1984. What the hell do you know? You're probably still playing with dinosaurs. Piss pants.
Damn it. Fuck. Now he's got me on the young thing. I'd say, listen, rap is and always was a black art form. That's why we all know Eminem was born black and got vitiligo. He got the Michael Jackson disease.
That's not what happened. It was the other Michael Jackson disease. That's why he's so homophobic.
Well, I guess it was catching. So he got either way. Maybe it just scared him white. Who knows? But yeah, no, I don't think any of that shit from the 80s that isn't like Eric B. and Rakim counts as rap. I think it's like when, have you ever seen white people try to break dance?
Yeah.
They're trying to break dance, but it doesn't count as break dancing. No one would classify it as that. It's a failure to break dance. And I would say that at best, this song is a failure to rap. An attempt was made, but it doesn't count as a stunt unless you land it.
Oh, it landed. It landed. When you get out your hot hits in 1984, or maybe even get a Kitty Pops album. I'm sure they did One Night in Bangkok. Those little weirdos.
Have you ever heard someone walking down the street with a boombox on their shoulder blasting One Night in Bangkok?
Of course I have.
That's a lie.
I've traveled. I've lived a life.
That's a straight up lie, Glenn.
It's not. I was once like you are now, and I know it's not easy to be calm when you found a big jug of Perrier or whatever the hell you're drinking.
It was same water bottle for 4 months. Safe.
I don't know who keeps refilling it. I just come in. It's ready to go. I drink it.
I mean, I can already tell you now where my judgment is leaning if you want to take a different track here, Chris, because I think arguing that Murray Head's One Night in Bangkok. I mean, for starters, you don't know what color Murray Head is.
But I know Glenn, and I can guess Glenn in the 80s. So white.
I mean, I would go as far to say that, yes, Mike Tyson's not hip hop, but Bjorn and Betty from ABBA, come on now. I think arguing that it's not a rap song is maybe not the way to go, because I think It's like it was a full song. That Blondie one was only like a tiny section.
Yeah.
Where would we rate Rock Me Shaka Khan on the rap scale?
Sassy R&B.
You don't think the rap in?
Is that the only part that I remember from that song is Shaka Khan, let me rock you, Shaka Khan.
That's the one, yeah.
That's just rhythmic talking. That's not the same thing. That's like saying playing the saxophone wrong is jazz. It's got to be wrong in the right way. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Would it help? Okay. Would it help if it was proven that Murray Head was playing the Black Pieces in his chess game?
That just makes it sound more like cultural appropriation. He's just moving the black bits around for his own gain.
Yeah. and as black, never expected to win.
No. Always starts on the back foot.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I don't know what the other songs in the musical are about. It might be a horribly racist. I just assumed that the fellas from ABBA wouldn't have attached their name to it if it was too stereotypical. But it was the 80s, so you could get away with a lot.
Especially in Sweden, not exactly the darkest place in the world, regardless of how much fucking sunlight they get. How about, okay, let's say, I think I made my case on that it's not a rap. How about the best rap song of all time?
Yeah.
Then why is it never included in anything? I listen to a lot of podcasts about hip hop, and no one has ever talked to me about Murray Head, which, by the way, sounds like a town in Scotland that fell into a sinkhole.
That does not exclude you from the rap game.
Geographical coincidences aside.
I'm not even sure how Murray Head fits into all of this. I don't know. Is he? I envision him to be sort of a Max Headroom sort of character where
I don't know why I'm saying this, but I feel like Murray Head is Australian.
Okay, I take it all back.
There you go.
Yes. No, there's no way. Wearing that little hat with the marshmallows on it. I'm here trying to boost his career a little. He's like, get him, mate.
I mean, if anyone knows in the
not a rap song. That's a rap song.
Yeah, I'd say if anyone watching right now is definitely looking it up, because fuck knows. And this is from a musical?
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing. The reason why it sneaks in there, and you wait, your goddamn head's gonna explode. You're gonna be walking around with an upside down head, and everybody like, hey, bat face. You're like, no, this is how it is. I'll flip my goddamn head. I heard this song.
People will immediately look at you and go, first time hearing One Night Bangdown.
Because nobody thinks of it as it, but he does. He raps. He doesn't sing. But then, in the style of many rap songs, it took him a long time to get to this part too. There is ladies singing, like they sing the and then he comes in.
I feel like your uncle's at a wedding right now. Okay, so this is from a musical though, right?
Yeah, but nobody ever saw the musical. Don't.
But I would say, okay, so musicals, before Hamilton made it okay to have rap in a musical, they weren't called musicals, they were called hip operas. And so the fact that it's called a musical would lend itself to believe that this isn't a rap song.
This was even before they said hip opera. This is they had just started using the word opera. This is how long ago this song.
Actually, a lot of people don't know the word opera is short for hip opera.
Yeah. No, I mean, see that if it had come out today, everybody would just go, "Yeah, that's a rap song." But it came out; it was such a pioneer that people just don't realize it's a rap song.
It would almost, and again, I'll throw this open up. Where do we feel this sits in the rap oeuvre of Falco's "Rock Me Amadeus"?
I forgot about Rock Me Amadeus.
It's very similar style to.
I would like to change my answer to "One Night in Bangkok" is the second best rap song. And Chris Betts, if you want to walk around with a head on backwards, I know what hot mix to put together for you.
I would say if we're gonna give in that they're the top two, the top three is got to be the Simpsons version, Dr. Zaius.
Yeah.
Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before. Dr. Zaius.
That's the song they're taking off.
Yeah.
That's Rock Me Amadeus.
This is.
Did you know that?
I did know that. That one I knew. I knew.
Okay. So sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. It's very convenient.
Yeah. When it's hip hop, I know, and when it isn't, I don't. These are the rules.
I mean, it's very difficult to tell who won there because I feel Truth was the real winner. I think we essentially got to a good place, which is that the greatest rap song of all time is in fact Falco's "Rock Me Amadeus." But on the sheer technicality of what was first presented, I've got to give it to Chris Betts. He's
shit! Yeah.
I mean, it isn't the greatest rap song of all time.
Never
it's
even
the
heard it.
Second best rap song of all time.
By your own admission.
Well, you look who walks free now, Judge. Look what you've done. You caught yourself in your own words.
Everybody, listen to Falco. Change your lives. All right, so I guess that's.
I've got to
you
cut you short there. I don't know how long you usually.
No, I think
you battle these.
I think you were right. I mean, I was fucking fighting for my life in there.
Well, yeah, the fact that he's done no preparation, hasn't heard the song, unsure who I am, and wondering. It was kind of like visiting your sick grandpa on Halloween. You don't wear the costume because he's already confused.
All right. So we're gonna go into the first speed round now. Paul, have you got the list of topics there?
Oh yeah, sure.
Good man. Can we get the 2-minute clock up on the screen, please, Josh? Perfect. All right. So Glenn, Paul's gonna read out a list of words. We're gonna get through as many of these in 2 minutes as we can. Do you want to be for or against whatever he's about to say?
Oh, for.
4. Good man. And this is, I want you to know that I've been doing the show for a while, and I can always guess how they're going to vote depending on what country they're from. Canadians, always for. British people, always against. Argentinians, wild cards.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to be for or against Argentinians there.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you're playing some
you came
kind
out
of
on the
mind
right
game,
side.
Honestly.
Right,
I feel like you're doing that magician thing of pick a card and then change it.
Yeah.
Like you've done some fucking trick on us there.
The 3-card Monty thing? That's not for you to know. All right.
Michael Mole, you are for apathy.
Yeah. Of course I am. You gotta be apathetic to things. You can't be not. I tell you what. You've used too big of a word. You need it to be
3 syllables.
No, but it's got a lot of meat in it. Apathetic. What?
Well,
right,
would you?
Okay, I'll go against. I'd say fuck apathy. It's so bullshit that even the guy arguing for it doesn't care enough to do it. Next topic.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Don't use any of the like. What is irony? No, just fucking yams or.
Okay, Glenn, for or against?
Oh, he's for all of them.
Oh, he's for all
Yeah.
of them. I'm not making this up. Irony.
I went to a random word generator today and just pulled up.
Oh my lord! I'm against Chris Betts's wasted English degree. He's trying to.
I didn't pick any of this shit. This was an algorithm. There's a randomwordgenerator.com. It just knows me well.
Well, no.
Okay.
To pick a different one.
Okay. I'm against irony because it made him argue against it out of like support, and that makes the game confusing. Next.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Glenn.
Boo.
Yeah.
Ironically. By the way, should that 2-minute timer be?
I was wondering that, Josh. Can we start the timer? Because it's still showing 2. There we go. Thanks, buddy.
Well,
That's
let's
an
pretend-
ironic and apathetic performance.
You kind of canceled each other out on the first 2 there, so you'll prefer this one, Glenn.
Okay.
Eggs.
Am I for or against them?
You're for everything.
I'm for. Well, I actually am for eggs, and I'll tell you, I never drifted when they all said, "Oh, eggs are so bad for you." I'm like, "Fuck off! Tell it to the foxes." I've never seen a fox have a heart attack. So you go and you eat all the eggs you like. They're wonderful for you.
I'm pro fox heart attack, and so fuck eggs. I think that eggs should be more dangerous and kill more foxes to support farmers, because I support the working man. Next.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, I'm not scoring that one your way. Glenn, you are apparently for orgies.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, if God meant you to have one sexual partner, he would have given you one hole.
Damn, that's airtight. Badoom. I hate orgies. It's nothing has given me more FOMO than standing outside a room that I wasn't invited into. So it's I hate orgies the same way I hate the athletes at school. Next.
Yeah, I think that's you hating yourself more.
Yeah, that's fair.
You weren't even at an orgy in that one. You were a peeping
You were
Tom.
near an orgy.
You were caught.
Again,
Slithering
Lassie,
around an orgy.
you are for sharks.
Of course I'm for sharks. They eat Australians. How could that be wrong?
I got to give him that. I'm pro that too. So fuck, that's the end of the speed round.
Tell me that's what happened to Murray Head. Tell me that the Head family have tuned in and shocked.
They are. This has been a roller coaster for the Heads.
Yeah. Do you know that all that was left when that shark bit him? They just call him Murray now.
All right, Paul. What's the score at the end of the speed round? I shudder to think.
I mean, I have it marked now 4-2 to Glenn. That was quite the.
I can't believe it was that close. I'm really pleased. All right, so now we're gonna go into the second round, which is regrets. The way regrets round works is you tell me something that you regret about your life, and I tell you why it's the best thing you've ever done, or you tell me something you're proud of, and I tell you why you're a piece of shit for thinking that. So,
Okay.
Glenn, what do you got?
I was offered tickets to go see the Tragically Hip in Seattle,
Oh, damn.
and turned it down. And then about a year later, Gord Downey developed a tumor and died. And it is one of my greatest regrets. It was not only tickets to see them, but the dude was like, "Yeah, I'd probably get you backstage," because he knew the manager. And I just sloughed it off in that, like, "Oh, well, I'll just see him again."
Yeah.
I mean, what? It's not like any of them have cancer.
I can tell. I think Paul's going into what is this Canadian nonsense mode.
No.
No?
There's the hip are international enough. Well done.
Good.
Well done on
because-
your finest exports. In fact,
Can't argue with that. They are and were national treasures. Okay, that's a tough one. But here's why it's great that you didn't go. If you had gone, you would have been the worst person to have around during that last year that Gord Downey died. You would have been the fucking asshole that would have spent the whole time post-diagnosis going, oh, I met him actually. Seems so healthy. Really nice guy. He loved my comedy. Really put on a great show. We shared a beer. And you would have just talked about all these things that totally missed the point and didn't engage in the national sorrow. So as a result, you were a better Canadian citizen and a better friend for not having had that frankly, elitist and exclusionary experience. You're a working man's comic. You made the working man decision. Good for you.
Or maybe I would have fixed the rickety microwave that they were carrying around with them on tour.
I haven't heard that theory.
That Gord used to lean in way too close. Hey, is my burrito done yet? Half hour later. Bing! Lovely.
The microwave theory was never fully proven. I would say that also, I mean, if you were going to spend your time backstage with the hip fixing microwaves, then good. I'm glad you didn't go. What a waste of fucking time that would have been. So either way.
yes, you should have been getting your bone marrow tested.
Yeah, no, if you're going to see someone, you got to see them before they're about to die. Like I remember I saw Brian Wilson at a music festival, and it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I had to leave during Sloop John B because he kept singing "Let Me Go Home," but he meant it.
He opened and closed with it. Yeah. I did see the hip about a year before that that concert I turned down, and I'd seen them about 6 times before that, and this was the best ever. It was in Kamloops, and I mean, I even got to see them a lot in little theaters because they'd come when I lived in London. Sometimes it was only like 200 people there, and sometimes it had been poorly advertised, and there was just like you could get up and walk right to them.
See, and that's so much better than, would you really want to see him in a stadium in Seattle where like no one in Seattle had heard of him? They're not big in the States at all. So you saw him in Kamloops, then, which is incredible. That's such a great place to see the hip. That's exactly right. It's like seeing him in Oshawa. It's so Canadian.
Yeah, I was with my Irish girlfriend at the time, and she couldn't believe it because she'd only ever heard them, and they're not like Coldplay or anything. They got a little muscle to it, but you wouldn't think, like when you see who goes to a hip concert in Kamloops, like guys were like, they were ripping the seats up and throwing them around. It's like, why? Like the guys up there, like, sundown in the Paris of the prairies, I'm gonna kick your ass, Todd. And then he did.
Well, he was having all the high school memories that came up with listening to the hip, and so it was like, Todd fucked my girlfriend after prom. Hulk out. Yeah. No, it sounds like you had I never got to see him. The closest I saw was the that farewell one that they broadcast on CBC. I saw it in the park when I was in Toronto. And if you saw him that many times, missing him that once, that wasn't going to make up for it. He probably already had brain cancer then anyway, so he wasn't going to be like fun, wacky Gord. He'd probably just been diagnosed, so it's like a bummer.
No. He hadn't been diagnosed yet. But if you look at some of the outburst, like if you look at some of the what do you call them? Like things that from brain tumors, and I think this is one of them. One of the signs that you have a brain tumor is really like strange outbursts and slurring of words. I think he would have been really, you know, my mom asked how long he'd had it for. Maybe
20
the
years.
whole time.
Yeah, no, I think you're in the clear on that one, man. I think you nailed it by seeing him at a younger age, and then being able to really appreciate the sorrow that we all felt later. It's a double whammy of a success. Good for you for not going to that concert.
Yep, I agree.
All right, cool.
Hey, didn't we also see them in Trafalgar Square on Canada Day?
No, that was you and JJ. That was you
was-
and JJ Whitehead.
I was
And
there for that. I forgot about that.
they apparently that wasn't very good because they wouldn't turn the sound up. Like they were
Yes.
it was so Canadian, like, oh geez, no, we couldn't. Okay, it's our day, but look, people are working and there's some tourists from out of town. They don't know this. We'll just keep it down.
I mean, I couldn't even get over the idea of that it was actually on Canada Day, and yet they were willing to travel to London to play to a couple of thousand Canadians and passers-by.
I think they understand that they were like our spirit animal. They were our heart song, and so they're willing to go where they're needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't see them at Trafalgar Square, but I did have tickets to the show because they did like a theater show after that, like 2 days later, and Stuart Francis got us. We got into like a royal box with it was with the drummer Johnny Faye's family was in there. Like that's how good the box was.
Nice.
And I had just flown back from Australia and I had really been drinking like a lot. And I was trying to hang out the box to see them. Like it was like there was a big curtain and I seriously like went, whoa. I was hanging by a curtain, sort of swinging over the crowd like a Muppet. That and boy, wouldn't have that have been a strange end to my career?
Jesus.
No.
People would have heard. Did you hear how Glenn died? Yeah. I actually won some money on that one. That was. I mean, you got to be fucked up if the drummer's family's looking at you like that guy's not right. That guy's unwell.
No, the drummer's family was more than impressed and almost you could see wanting to do it too.
Yeah, okay.
Once I was sort of brought back in, they were okay. How do we? Yeah.
All right. Have you got I mean, we got time for one more regret if you got one. You don't, no pressure, but if you got one, I can unburden you.
My greatest regret is I have no more regrets.
I think that's because you don't remember all your curtain dangling incidents.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I've got one.
Okay.
It was in I did a show in South Korea, and there was a heckler all the way through, and not like you'd just in the set, like you'd set up a joke with like a point and he'd be like, okay, well, let's try and count them, you know, like, and like he just didn't have the side of the crowd. It was like a really good show. And this one guy that just, you know, not adding to it, just trying to pick at it. And then, so I was, I'd been drinking Crown Royal too. Like I couldn't believe they had Crown Royal.
So Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm drinking Crown
God.
Royal.
Yeah.
I do my last joke of the show. It's about the sex offenders registry. It's about like not wanting to sit beside a kid on a plane. You know, if I signed myself up to the sex offender registry, would I not have to do that? It gets a big laugh and everything. after the show, I'm talking with some other dudes, and it's always like when everybody disappears, this dude shows up, and he was like, yeah, you know that joke you did at the end, that's why I'm here. And I was like, what? Yeah, that's why I'm in South Korea, saying, and he could have been kidding that he was on the sex offenders registry, but there was no, it's not funny enough. Like, it's not like, to have somebody think that about you. You'd think like, oh, and then the twist is like, no, sometimes I just go up and tell people I'm in the sex offenders registry. They love it. And it was just one of, like, I hated him fully. I'd been drinking Crown Royal, and he told me that about himself. And then I woke up the next day, and I was like, I didn't punch that guy. There was no excuse. I had the fight juice. My fight juice was filled right up to the brim. I could have cleaned my windscreen with fight juice. And I just forgot. I forgot to, I mean, it's partly.
I forgot I've got these justice makers.
Yeah, I got Kitty and Fiddle right there.
All right. So I would say, okay, so that sex offender thing, you say like it's not funny enough to be a joke, but I mean, if he proved anything that night, it's that nothing that he fucking says is funny. So that sounds like the kind of guy that would come up and be like, yeah, I totally sex offend you and me, right? Big guy, we're in on this together, and not mean it. So that's probably bullshit. Feels like a weird time for him to trust you as well after fucking with you for the whole goddamn time. Feels like a weird time for him to confess to you and open up. Also, I mean, I don't know South Korea's laws personally, but normally when I'm gigging abroad, I try to make it a point not to fight anybody.
Yeah.
Because fuck no, every now and then you hear about some crazy law that is like, oh no, you can do coke on waitresses, but if you punch someone, you're going to jail forever. Like,
no, but this is South Korea, and if the movies are anything to go by, any sort of situation at all, you can get in a big brawl as long as you use karate or some sort of martial art. As long as you're fighting crime, which technically I would have been
fighting a criminal. He didn't touch you, Glenn.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right for not punching. There's like what would have been gained? He would have won if you'd wasted your fist on him. He would have been in your head for the rest of the fucking night. But as a result, sounds like you went out and had a great time. How was the rest of your night after that?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. Yeah, but and here's the thing: he doesn't get into my regrets now. He got in tier 2 at the back. I'd already had a good regret, and his regret had to be dusted off
where he belongs. But if you'd punched him and say, was he like a small guy or was he pretty built?
No, he was big.
He's a big guy, and he came up saying he was a sex offender. Sounds like a glass jaw. I think you would have killed him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had him.
Yeah.
He wasn't standing correctly to tell people he was a pedophile.
Yeah.
You wanna get square with that little lean in, but he was like he looked like a thumb with legs.
There's definitely no chance that he was doing that thing that an audience member will do of trying to make your joke back to you.
That's what I think.
Like that he was going, like, not just, oh, we're sex offenders together, but I pretended to be a sex offender to do that thing and it backfired, and now that's why I live here.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. It was
no,
pretty
he had already proven himself quite unfunny.
Yeah, I would lose a lot of money if I had to bet on it, and it turned out no, he was not.
Okay, well then, how about this? If you'd punched him, sort of technically unprovoked, he'd said a weird thing, but not like necessarily punchable, then you would have made a sex offender a victim. And that is unforgivable. He would have been able to go around and complain to people, and then they would have had to feel bad for a pedophile. Is that the kind of world you want to create with your fists?
You're right. You're right.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still surprised that as far as regrets go, that still beat out your first marriage. So.
I don't think the show's long enough for that one.
I don't know what way to score these ones.
If you think that I properly explained it away, then you give me the point. There's a little bit of
me that's just like, yeah, no, I think you could have fucking punched him.
You got to be impartial, Paul.
I think that's a reasonable regret to have. That was a lot of punchable activity from him.
Yeah. I wish I'd punched him before he got his story out.
Yeah.
Just walked up to me, crack. Shut up. Yeah. Shut up and shows. Now, where's that head knight that couldn't shut the yaps? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean that's even the thing, because he gave you a proper one. Like yeah. Oh, I don't know.
It's up to you, Paul. You're the judge.
It's hard to know. But you know what it is? I don't want to give Betts the point for being the bigger man.
I'm not. I just don't want to give a pedophile a reason to complain. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. You can have it then.
All right. What's the score at now? Oh, how did the last one go? Did I win that one?
I mean, I'm not sure. I have it at 4-4.
4-4, perfect.
I could be miscounting if anyone wants to correct me in the comments. I'm not precious about it.
No, I think that sounds right. That sounds
yeah. That's when Chris took us to his other show, Appeals.
Yeah. I am outraged. This is bullshit. You have no proof he touched those kids.
Do you have to go to a bigger, more formal venue than a bus to do that?
Yeah, that one takes place in a stretch Hummer. All right, that's the regrets round. We're gonna do another speed round now. So, Paul, you got the topics up there?
I do.
Good man. Glenn, because you were 4 last time, you're gonna be against this time. Okay. All good? Cool.
Ooh.
All right.
Dealers.
I am against dealers because I think it should be government sanctioned, and they just drop off a lot of drugs, and then what you don't take, you leave out, like the clippings or the garbage. I don't think humans should be involved with it at all. It should be robots.
All right. I'm for dealers because they were the last bartering system I ever had. They're the last people that had something I wanted, and I could say, I got some of this Chinese food left. I'll trade you for a joint. You can't do that with any other business people.
I like it. I'm all on board with you there, Matt. Though I would petition to have their name changed to drug mongers.
Ah, very nice.
Peanuts.
Am I for it or against it?
You're against.
I'm against peanuts. I don't like the way Charlie Brown is venerated in our society. He's a loser. His dog doesn't like him. He can't kick a football. And what you don't know about him is that he approached me after a show in South Korea, all grown up. And now you know why the other kids didn't like him, because he got his hands out and he used them. Yeah. That's why they had to keep that football away from him.
I'm all right. I guess I'm pro. Wow, you really boxed me into a corner there. I'm pro peanuts because Charlie Brown was the one character who, no matter how unpopular a kid you were, you could look at him and be like, at least I'm not Charlie Brown. So I think he stopped a lot of school shooters that way.
I mean, I think to a certain extent you were both making the same argument, which is that Charlie Brown is a pedophile. Like, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
But
I'll tell you what.
I've got it scored for Glenn because he made that argument first.
Fair enough.
He just,
Fair
he
enough.
just repeated them.
If you want to end up on any sort of registry, you want it with the name Charles Brown. Oh, no, I'm not that Charles Brown. No, I know that guy. He's no. That's not me.
All right, that's the end of the second speed round. I feel like Glenn's up by 2. Is that right?
No, it's 5-0.
Oh, 5-0. Damn. All right. Oh, that's right. The
It's
dealer one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going into the judges round now. We got it all to play for. There are no prizes. Before Paul tells us what the topic is, Glenn, do you want to be for or against whatever Paul's about to say?
I'd like to be against it, please.
Strong. I think you know Paul.
Online gigs are way better than live gigs.
Well, that isn't tough.
Sell your show now, Max.
All right. Okay. First of all, there's no green room for comics to get creepy in. Nailed it. First off, good. Second, no weird promoter that like tried to be a comic but failed and now wants to be like your buddy and give you notes on your jokes. There's none of that bullshit. I don't think you ever tried. Did you try stand-up, Paul?
No.
Yeah, there you go. Nah. So it's like you're at a safe distance from the guys that couldn't do it and therefore book it. Those who can't joke, book. I would say never in the 9 months that I've been doing online gigs has a Charlie Brown character come up to me and told me that he fucked kids. That's pretty sweet.
You don't read the comments in these shows, do you?
They're pretty heavily monitored. I don't know, Glenn, what about you?
I don't fuck kids. What?
And the online shows win again.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's not where you said like green rooms, so the comics can't be creeped. That's not where they get up to their deeds. That's on the internet afterwards. So that the internet will not. It's almost better to have a comic in a box because you know where he is. The internet, that lizard could slither anywhere. He's going through all the people that come up, and he's like, "Are you?" He's sniffing their pictures on the screen. It's worse. It's worse.
But at least you can turn your camera off. That's done in privacy. He's going to do that on the internet regardless, live show or no. But at least now you don't have to see the look in his eye that he like was scrolling through your pictures at 2 a.m. the night before when the lineup was tweeted out. You got that one weird like of a picture from 2017.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking look at him the next day.
He bumped it with his knuckle while he was wanking. He didn't mean to like anything.
I don't think he does like anything. Yeah, online shows are great. You don't have to leave your house. There's no fucking trains. I haven't been on a single train with a hen do in 9 months. Not one. There's no hen do's. There's no stag do's. Since I book it, I book people that I like. So I never find myself in a green room with someone that I hate.
If you move out of the city, you could afford a car, or you could afford a car, and you'd avoid all this hen night travel. You're going traveling by limousine to these gigs. I don't know where you encountered a hen night.
I take party buses everywhere.
You see, this is what's happened here. We're starting to find out more about your life. You drive up to these gigs. You don't have to sit in the green room, whether you can just sit in the car and you get a little message, and then you go up. You get to see people in a room that are all weird because they've been stuck in their house for a year. That's cross-eyed and not sure what they can laugh at. That's goddamn living right there. Sitting 9 feet apart, trying to whisper through that shit. That's what you gotta get yourself into. You could zigzag through the crowd if you needed to.
No part of that sounds good to me. That sounds fucking terrible.
It's better than staying at home with your toddler. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you just made a different mistake. That's all. I don't have kids. I'm having a fucking great time. I'm watching Billions.
So, Chris, would your ideal comedy career would be essentially like no audience?
Within I'm gonna step out of the game for a second. So like timeout, Zach Morris, timeout, Saved by the Bell. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. Back in the game, time in. I've never wanted anything more in my life. I think that sounds great. All I ever wanted to be was like a fucking hermit. So now I can just get my log cabin, sit out in the woods, keep telling jokes for a living, and never have to deal with another person again. That's perfect. We didn't get into stand-up because we're people. We're fucking nightmares. Let us do that in the woods where nightmares belong.
There is going to be a lot of Insta stories starring hermits. It's going to be like they're just going to get paler and paler and more like Gollum as the likes go up, but they just cannot get into that sunlight anymore. It frightens them.
A lot of twig-based Etsy art going out.
I've got to admit, at this point, I'm leaning towards Betts has brought his argument forward better, unless you want to make a last ditch here, Glenn, on the love of the game, the love of the road.
Yeah, tell us about all the mining camp gigs in Canada. Tell us about the oil field
I'll tell you what about the live gigs now. There's no weaklings. They can't come out. The comorbids, as I call them, they can't sniff this virus. So the hotness of the crowd is real good. If you like sniffing them like I do, you can't smell them when they're on the computer. You can't. You can try, and I do.
Lens, how did you become the creep you were talking about at the start of this argument?
Isn't it obvious who the creep was? Is it not obvious?
Well, compelling and all this the ability to smell them argument. I think I'm still going to go with Chris on this.
Yeah, victory. This is the first
winning the decider 6-5. How many have you been winning?
This is the first online one that I've won. I was ahead 10-5 going into the last round on the last one, and they fucking got me because I've never seen netball before. It was a real one night in Bangkok situation. So
yeah, what was your piss poor excuse for that?
I heard Blondie played it, so I never paid attention. Fuck netball.
Are you talking about the sport or the movie?
The sport.
You've got no reason for that.
You've never seen the sport netball?
Never seen netball. We don't do it in Canada. We don't have that. We have basketball.
You've hosted the Olympics. Like, it's still.
We don't watch the Summer Olympics.
Hey, Uncle
yeah, of course.
Uncle Traveling Matt, you're not in Canada.
Yeah.
You're not in the Rock anymore. You're not amongst your Fraggles. Turn the fucking tube on every once in a while and live a little.
But from what I understand, it's like a game for teenage girls, which would just turn me into Glenn a minute ago.
Do you know what that smells like live?
Yeah.
Oh, all them jumping chicks getting all hot and bothered in their gussets.
we got a comment come in from Twitch. It's from Baldy, and it says, "Never seen Glenn or Charlie Brown in the same room." That's a new conspiracy theory.
Well, it only happened to the once. We're lucky.
Charlie got off lucky. Yeah.
He's lucky that it hasn't happened again.
All I heard there was wah, 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 wah.
I've got Woodstock and a giant pumpkin for you.
I'm gonna make a pig pen out of you. All right, this has been great. Thanks, guys. We're gonna duck off now for the streamers, and we're gonna record the extra episode for my Patreon. So subscribe to my Patreon on there. The link should be in the chat or the comments, whatever you're watching it on. Thanks again for watching, everybody.
This was lots of fun. Who's on your next one?
The next one, I think, is Laura. Oh no, the next one is Jess Fostekew and Eleanor Tiernan.
Oh, strong, man. That's
it's gonna be real good. And then the next one is Laura Davis and Alice Fraser.
Oh, very strong.
And
sexy.
The one after that is John Hastings and Dylan Gott.
No, fuck those guys.
Fuck those assholes, right?
That's gonna be a lot of wrestling.
Is there? Do you listen to their podcast? It's mostly
no.
It's mostly cum.
You might want to brush up who Captain Lou Albano is, because that's going to be half of your goddamn questions. I think in 1967 he shouldn't have relinquished the belt in Memphis on that starry night. Well, I think he should have.
They would know what the night was like, those fucking nerds. Glenn, do you have anything that you want to push? I think you just released a special, right? Viva Forever?
Yeah, that's on all platforms, Spotify and all that shit. So cool. Put it in your ears and listen to it.
Can they buy physical copies of it?
Yeah, I should have pushed that first. Yeah. If you go to Stand Up Records, there is a way to buy it. But if you need to remember that, go and sign up for my Twitter. Go follow me, and the pinned clip is it's a clip from the show, and you can watch that and give it a like, and then order the album, and you can actually pay £1,000 for it because you fucking deserve to, dick.
Always. I mean, calling you a dick aside, viewers, the buy the album, because then he actually gets money off it, as opposed to Spotify getting all the fucking money. So if you can do it, it's at standuprecords.com. I think they're a great record label for stand-up comedy. They got a ton of great albums on there, so check them out. But go see Glenn. I saw the show in Edinburgh. You did a Monkey Barrel, right?
Yes.
And it was fucking amazing. It was
thank you.
So funny and heartbreaking, and it was everything you want an Edinburgh show to be. I thought it was fucking amazing. So everyone check out Viva Forever. Follow Glenn. Paul, what about you? What are you doing these days?
Yeah, no, don't follow me, and I have nothing to post.
Paul.
I mean, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, but I never tweet. I never gram. I have just very recent, and this genuinely is the first proper comedy show I've ever appeared on in my 16 years of working in comedy.
Fuck yeah.
Never even did anyone's podcast or anything. But
man, it's a pleasure to have you.
But I have of recent cropped up on John Hastings, who you have on soon.
Yeah.
I do occasionally crop up on his Twitch stream where we'll watch old sets of his, and I'll tell him why they're terrible.
Good. Yes. Can you let me know when he's doing that? Because I want to watch that.
Like impenetrable comedy chat from one of the finest directors in the biz, then you can come and find me there. But otherwise, no, I have nothing to push at all. You should look at all of Glenn's things. He's an actual comic.
And if you go back far enough, Paul directed them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which
very well directed ones.
Which ones have you directed? I think the first one I saw was Let Your Hands Go.
You know what? I was going to name that as my favorite one. Actually.
That's a great one. That one is exceptional.
It's that is a special place.
Yeah.
Though I think might have been the last year I was drinking. Anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll get to that one in the Patreon chat, everybody.
You can come to one of my Zoom meetings.
So sign up, follow Glenn, buy his album Viva Forever, Stand Up Records. Don't do anything with Paul ever. He doesn't like you and he doesn't want to know you.
Okay.
Follow me, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like it, and if you're watching on Twitch, subscribe. I do this every week, every Wednesday. Sign up to my Patreon to hear the chat that we're about to have and the chats that I have with every judge every week. Other than that, thank you for watching. Be safe. Don't go fucking nuts just because lockdown's over and we're about to get a vaccine. It's about to be like fucking the end of World War II out there. I'm not excited at all. Okay, so thanks guys, take care, bye.